Today's guest has one of the most fascinating career journeys we have had on the podcast. I'm joined by Iris Guo, an AI product manager, community builder, career coach, public speaker, and now podcast host. Over the last few years, Iris has worked with some of the most recognized organizations in technology, including Microsoft, Google, Scale AI, Twitter, and several startups in AI ecosystem. But what makes her story truly interesting is that it didn't start with connections, privilege, or perfectly planned roadmap. At just 17 years old, she moved to Canada alone as an international student with a dream of creating impact in the world. So today, I want to go beyond the resume. Let's understand the person behind all of this. So, welcome to the podcast, Iris.
Thank you so much for the warm welcome and such an honor to be here.
Who was Iris before all these titles, all these companies? Tell us the beginning.
Yeah, for sure. Honestly, I was a very and basically like very curious person. And growing up, I grew up in China, in a city called Shenzhen, and it's close by Hong Kong. And growing up in this tech capital, I got a lot of exposure to technology. And I was always curious about the outside world. And that's why I moved to Calgary for high school, as an international student by myself. And my parents were still in China and they didn't understand why I wanted to move. And at the time, I think I was just really curious about what a different world could look like. So that curiosity has driven me to build product, explore different roles. And before product, I was also exploring roles in finance because I studied finance at University of Waterloo. And I thought initially I want to be an investment banker, but turns out I didn't really like finance. I tried out like venture capital, private equity, sales and trading, consulting, like all the different traditional path in finance, and realized that I'm not a rule follower. And I think inherently I'm someone who likes to break fast and iterate. So being able to work in an innovative field where there's new things happening and I'm able to use cutting edge technology to solve problems, was something that I found out about myself that probably are not like suitable for like a traditional industry like finance. So then that's how I decided tech is m way more my calling because I care a lot about creating end user impact and social impact, and being able to build in a fast manner while leveraging my problem solving and curiosity.
That's fascinating, actually. And when you look back today, what were the biggest challenges of adapting to a new country? Like you were just 17 years old, right?
Yeah. For sure. I think definitely cultural context was a big one. Like initially, when I was in high school, a lot of people would talk about things that they know, like pop culture reference, like singers, celebrities, childhood toy or food brand. Like I don't know any of them. And so every time someone reference to one of those, I would always like ask, oh, what is that? And they'll explain what that is to me. So I think missing the cultural context initially make it harder to connect with people. But I kind of like leverage it to my advantage as a way to learn more about local culture. And I was able to adapt myself and fit in very quickly. And I think of it as like a cultural exchange. It's like the same time when people are telling me about their childhood, I'll tell them about, oh, what it's like growing up in China and what that world looked like. So that way we're able to bridge the gap in connecting. And I also learned very quickly how important it is to connect with people on a human and emotional level because I learned that it people are not going to remember what you say, they will remember how you make them feel. So with that, it's important to be able to connect with people on an emotional level and really incite the kind of emotions that you want them to feel about you, and also that goes deeper into like you building your personal brand and what do you want to be known by and how do you want people to perceive you. So I was able to understand human psychology from a very young age and then understand how to adapt my way of speech to different kind of people, different kind of culture, and how can I find that common denominator or common ground the fastest way and create friendship and connection.
That's great. And talking about um, neuroscience, right? Like how you can deal with people. Do you have a moment when you think to give up or something like that? How you deal with your emotions?
Yeah, for sure. No, there's a lot of moments I've handled rejections many times, and I do feel like rejection build character. Rejection is a way for you to grow, and it's a way for you to build resilience. And I think challenges are actually such a blessing that you don't see at the moment, but when every time after you overcome a challenge, you looking back will realize like how much you've grown from that challenge and you also build confidence from difficulties because every time you're able to overcome a huge challenge, next time something similar comes up, you will think that, oh, I've like encountered that before and I was able to overcome it. So now I feel a lot more confident overcoming this similar challenge. So I think I was able to overcome a lot of challenges with that, like confidence being built up over time, and it encouraged me to do more things and pursue my dream. Like an example I'll give you is when I was graduating college, and then I initially got the offer to join Twitter um, as a associate product manager. And
Was it the first opportunity?
um, no, I did get like three different offers.
Okay.
Yeah, but I so it was the offers were between Microsoft, Twitter, and Skill AI. And then I initially actually chose to join Twitter because I was like, oh, I really want the prestige of joining an APM program, you know, like as a new grad, like the shiny title of being an associate product manager, where you're like one of eight people selected out of like tens of thousands of people. Like the idea of it
Yeah.
really attracted me. And I like having like a close-knit community of like people that you're going to like work really closely with. So I chose Twitter and then not realizing that, I mean, that was the same time that Elon Musk was acquiring Twitter and changing it to X. And then he ended up like resending all of the new grad offers and then like fired a bunch of employees. So then my offer was impacted. So essentially 3 months before I was going to start the job, so it was in May of the year I graduated. I was going to start my job in August, and then I was called by the HR and telling they were saying that, oh, your offer no longer exists. Like you don't have a new grad offer anymore. We're resending it. And I was in shock, but also at the same time, I think I didn't have time to indulge in any kind of sadness. I just ha had a lot of urgency to like move on and try to find a new job. So in that same week after I heard the news, I interviewed with 20 companies and I was also like traveling in Mexico at a time, so I had to like interview with my phone and then doing like a bunch of LinkedIn outreach and pause all my travel plans. And then eventually I was able to land back for the offer at Skill AI and they extended the same offer to me from before. So I think the learning from that is there is literally no job security in this market. You have to always be agile and ready for when something happens. And that's why personal branding is so important. Like for you to be able to stand out, for people to want to reach out to you, and for you to differentiate from other candidates. And another learning was that you want to always maintain those relationship with the HR, with the hiring managers, because I initially actually rejected Skill AI because I was like, oh, sorry, I'm taking a different offer. I'm going to Twitter instead, but wish you the best of luck in finding candidates. And then because I maintained a good relationship with them, afterwards, when I was reaching back out and being like, oh, my other offer actually fell through, can you give me an offer? And they were able to honor the same offer, even though they already like hired their headcount, but because they wanted talent, they were able to give me an offer. So I think that's really important to maintain the
Yes.
relationship and personal branding and also overcoming challenges help you build up resilience over time.
For sure. And you've been selected for incredibly competitive programs and internships. And what do recruiters actually look for the candidates often miss? Because you told us to have a good relationship with them,
Mhm.
but when you apply, what they are looking for, what do you feel?
So I would say almost all the companies are looking for some very similar qualities. First is they're looking for someone who has high agency, especially startups. Like they are looking for someone who doesn't ask for permission to do things. They just go and do things. So that can be shown through like side projects. Basically, if you are working on side projects, you're solving problems that you see in your personal life or in other lives, and then you're able to problem solve and apply the right solution and bring end user impact. Like that's one thing that almost all companies are looking for. And nowadays with AI tools, it's so easy to build solutions. So there is no reason and excuse for you to not go out there and create solutions that can bring value to people's life. So that's number one is agency. And then number two, I would say is definitely critical thinking and problem solving skills because nowadays a lot of people are creating AI slop. So building on top of the previous point is that yes, you can go out and create AI solutions, but if they're not bringing any value to the audience, if no one's using it, if you're just building a solution not because you want to solve a problem, but just because you want to have that solution, that's not going to help either. So you want to create solution that is actually addressing user pain point. And with that, you need critical thinking, problem solving, you need a lot of curiosity in the space of the problem to be able to dive really deep into the problem, to understand it, to create the right solution. And then lastly, I think it's really important for everyone, no matter what role, to have people skill. And that really just means like your likability. Like how well do you think someone want to work with you? And that means active listening. That means being able to observe and adjust yourself when you're talking to different kind of people. And that means doing research and being prepared in an interview where you understand where their stance are in terms of their values, perspective on certain topics, and that you're able to adjust yourself to their perspective and understand their point of view. So all of those are very much trainable skills, and that's also what I do in my career coaching programs. I try to train people up for people skills and also for like being employable, essentially building your side projects, building up experience, and having the interview skills that will equip you for success.
How long is this program that you do, like career program? How that works for young people to um, older people? How you do that?
Yeah, for sure. So I have, I guess, two types of program. One is a job search guarantee program. So I will stay with you for as long as you need to help you find a job. So then that's kind of like an all-inclusive program where I'll help you with from the beginning of helping you refine your resume, help you build up side projects to enrich your experience, help you critique your LinkedIn, and help you find referrals to apply for jobs and teach you the process and template that you can use when you're doing cold outreach. And then I'll do mock interviews with you. And as you're getting interviews, I also help you negotiate your salary and help you give you advice on the end offer. So kind of like the step by step helping guide you through from zero experience to having a stack resume and
For
then being able to
real.
get an offer. So that's like the first one. And second one is just I also do hourly session for consulting on specific topics.
Perfect. And you really know about yourself, right?
Mhm.
And do you think there was a company or experience that taught you about yourself, or you learn more alone with your studies?
Yeah, I would say self-reflection is very important for you to understand yourself and being honest to yourself as well. Like a lot of times we can there's a lot of reasons we are chasing after things. Like sometimes people may like really want to work at Google because it's a brand name company and you'll get recognition and your friends and family will give you praises. Like those are the different kind of motivations, but they're external factors, right? So you need to look internally to understand what are your internal motivation, what truly makes you happy, and what are you looking for in a job? Like, do you care more about the growth opportunities, the learnings, the manager, the culture, the kind of work you're doing, the space industry? Like, they're all different kind of factors and pay as well. So
Yeah.
if you were to rank all of these factors in priority orders, then being honest with yourself and like what factors do you matters does it matter most to you? If like let's say work-life balance matters most to you, then you probably shouldn't work at a startup. If pay matters most to you, then yeah, you can like look for those companies accordingly. But I would say there is definitely different categories I would look at when you're looking for a job to
Yeah.
help you with your job search criteria. And then how do you know more about yourself? I think I've done a lot of therapy and journaling. I think those help you with self-reflection a lot and understanding who you are as a person, what are your strengths and
Yes.
weaknesses, and also just from like past job experience. I've had feedback from other people. Like people have said that I'm very direct and that I'm not like whenever I have something on my mind, I will tell them I like to give direct feedback and I also take direct feedback very well. Um, but like for someone else who is like a lot more softer, then maybe I will need to adjust my communication style, right? So I don't want to be too direct and in case people are not ready to receive the feedback. So over time, I've learned like what I'm good at, what my style is, and then I will learn to adjust my style to other people I'm working with to have a good collaboration relationship.
Sure, sure. And that's great. The communication is the key. And I really like journaling too. I think it's good to have our thoughts. We see our thoughts. I think it's a good way to deal with that. It's a good
Yeah.
tip. And you have been working in AI for several years now. And how has your perspective on AI changed over time? It's changing nowadays really fast, right?
Yeah, for sure. When I first started working in AI, it was in 2022, and that was before ChatGPT came out. And like no one knew about what AI was. It was just kind of like a buzzword and no one was using AI. And now like everyone is using AI. If you're not using AI, you're behind. So
Yeah.
the industry definitely has shifted a lot. Yeah, from when I started working on it, generative AI was like such a new technology. Like being able to generate image was so cool. Now it's like so accessible. Anyone can generate image, text,
Yes.
video, anything you want, basically. So I think I've definitely seen a huge shift for I would say it's like a balancing power play in a way. I see a lot more power being given to smaller companies because they're more agile, they're able to move faster, and they're more able to leverage AI compared to like bigger companies, which are like the incumbents and they move a lot slower. They require compliance, regulation to even start using AI tools. And I think they're definitely getting behind. Like all of the, for example, the big traditional industry, the financial institutions, like they are they are definitely a little bit slower to adopt. So unless they're able to keep up with that speed of AI adoption, I think a lot of smaller companies have an advantage to be able to disrupt the industry, which I think is a good thing.
Yes. But do you believe AI will create more opportunities or will eliminate more?
So I believe there's no way that AI can automate all the jobs. That's impossible. We
Yeah.
definitely we need humans. And I would say AI will create jobs for those who use AI very well. So
Mm.
I think the future job market is like wide open for those that are able to leverage AI to improve their productivity, make themselves more efficient, and basically create better work, but
Perfect.
not those that are using AI to replace their thinking and replace, especially the critical thinking part that requires human judgment. Like I would use AI as a sparring partner to ask you questions and challenge your thinking instead of using it to replace your thinking, which then you will become less sharp over time.
Perfect. And we talk a little bit about personal brand, and you have built communities, mentored people, spoken on stages, and now you launch your own podcast. Why was it important to create something beyond your day job? And tell us more about what you do besides your job.
Yeah, for sure. I truly believe in the power of personal brands because, well, for a couple of reasons. First is that building personal brand doesn't just like help you. I mean, of course, the benefit are like you are recognizable. People know who you are. And the benefit of that is that when there's new opportunities come, they will think of you and you can leverage your network for like looking for new job opportunities or hire people or build up a community. And essentially it's like your own distribution network that's unique to you and only you have access to. So I think it's super powerful. You can use that network however you want. So right now I am using it to build up my community, which is Iris Lens, the podcast where I'm talking about AI upskilling and I'm interviewing CEOs, founders about their personal AI workflows and to help other people to also upskill and learn about how they can leverage AI. And the reason I started this podcast was because I wanted to scale both community and content at the same time. And that's why I'm doing these live recording events where we have a podcast recording at the front and then we have the audience listening live in person. So I think this is really meaningful to me because I have like literally like hundreds of people reaching out to me and telling me after the events that they've learned so much and they were able to apply that to their job. And I can see the end user impact of the community I've created. And it's such a ripple effect as well. Like once you have a podcast, people listen to it and they're actually able to learn and grow, and you are effectively impacting hundreds of people's or thousand people's lives as this become a leverage for the platform and for you to grow your audience as well. So I think given those end impact and given like how much I've seen people being able to benefit from my podcast, the community, and all the events I'm hosting, I think I honestly I feel very happy like seeing people being able to benefit from the community I'm building. And then at the same time, I feel like it is also good karma. Like I believe in karma, and it definitely has brought me a lot of great opportunities over time because when you put out good energy into the world will return good energy back to you. And I think that's also how I was able to land a lot of good opportunities and people will basically come find me with when they're looking to hire or looking for a product manager in AI.
That's great. Actually, it's a beautiful answer. And talking more about this karma and what you do to help more people, how do you balance this ambition, relationship, health, personal life? How is that for you?
No, good question. I think I definitely always take too much. Um, but I would say I would say it's not really about balancing everything. Like I'm never actually doing everything all at once. I'm doing one thing at a time. Just depends on the priorities. So, for example, right now my priorities are, so I'm actually starting a new job in 2 weeks. So I just signed the offer yesterday, and that's another example of
Congrats.
thank you. I am definitely very excited for this new job. So essentially these are kind of like the opportunities. So for example, this new job, they found me on LinkedIn and they just like cold outreach to me because of my LinkedIn presence and because of the personal brand I built up. And they saw my LinkedIn, they believed in the work I'm doing. And then they reach out and then we kicked off the interview
That's
process and I
great.
ended up like landing the job. So that's another example of why personal branding is powerful because opportunities literally come to you when you are building good things out in the world and building in public. So I would say, coming back to the question you asked, managing time really is just being able to have a clear list of priorities. So right now, my priority is really just building out my podcast, keep generating content, interviewing guests, building a community. And then second is getting ready to start my new job in 2 weeks. So before that, it was more so on job search. Right now, job search just ended. So I think those are the main priorities. But then there are a lot of other stuff I do, right? Like, so I also do career coaching. I also teach Chinese classes. I'm public speaker for a bunch of events. And I also host community events for board games. So like these are all the like the side things I do for fun here and there. I mean, I also do have like active clients I'm coaching, right? So that is also a side business and hustle for me. Uh, but if you think about like number of hours per week, they don't actually take up that much time. Like I'm probably spending two 2 hours per week coaching clients and then 4 hours per week teaching Chinese and another like 10 hours on my podcast. And then another like 4 hours maybe spending
And
time.
everything is online?
Um, no, some of them are in person as well. Like my coaching sometimes happen in person because I'm in Toronto.
Nice.
So then I would
Yeah.
do coaching sessions in person, teaching Chinese in person, and hosting events in person as well. And so essentially my side things maybe take up like around like 20 hours per week. So it's kind of like a part-time job, like all everything together. It sounds like a lot, but if you break down the hourly time, like honestly, we all have so much time in a week. If you
Yes.
start tracking the amount of time you're spending every day and what you're doing at every hour, you realize that you're wasting so much time.
Yeah.
Like all the time we spend like scrolling on Instagram, all the time we spend like watching TV. I just don't do any of those. I mean, I do look at Instagram, but I make sure to control my scrolling time, to just like responding to messages. So once you cut down the time of basically wasting on social media and passive consumption, you will have so much time and like active creation and in doing things that you want to do. I think a lot of my our modern culture is focused on passive consumption. It's like consuming TikTok, Instagram, consuming TV shows, movies. They're, I mean, not that they're not good, but they are in a way less active in your brain, right? Like you're not thinking about what to do, what to create when you are just in a when you're a passive consumer.
Yeah.
So I would encourage all of you to shift from being a passive consumer of media to become an active producer. Like produce LinkedIn posts, produce Instagram reels, whatever media you are consuming, change your role into a producer. So you're actively participating instead of being a passive consumer.
Perfect. Yes. That's great because you need to be the protagonist of your life, not watching the others' protagonists, right?
Exactly. Yeah, for sure. So
Yes. And congrats about your job. And talking
thank you.
about the job, I was thinking here in Brazil, some years ago in this decade, we were watching a lot of people telling that we change a little bit the perspective. And I wanted to know about yours. So, when we work a lot of years in one industry, like 30 years in Twitter, 30 years in a specific company industry, they
Mhm.
have more authority than another person that work in a lot of
Different
industries,
industries.
a lot of
Yeah.
companies. Yes. What do you think about that?
I don't think so. I feel like there are specific skill sets you can learn from being a specialist versus a generalist. Like as a specialist, you are diving very deep into one domain. Yes, I agree. Like if someone have only worked in fintech or banks, then they will be an expert on fintech or banks. But then they're also narrowing themselves into that one swim lane. And versus someone who has more generalizable skill set and has jumped around different industries, uh, their options are a lot more wide open. So I'm an example of a generalist. I haven't spent years in any of the specific industries. Like I've hopped around for like legal tech, for gaming, for like the next company I'm joining is gonna be an event tech. And I mean, yeah, some of them are like B2B SaaS. That is probably a common denominator. Another common denominator is AI. Like for the past 4 years, all the companies I worked on are very pro AI and ML. So like the team I was working on was specifically AI ML. So I was basically kind of picking technology and skill set, being a generalist, being an AI product manager over the industries. Because I think industry domains and expertise can be learned while you're on the job. Like I honestly know nothing about event tech, especially on the enterprise event planning side. But the next company I'm joining is in that space. But what they saw in me was my expertise in building in AI and being very knowledgeable about AI products and building in these spaces. So I think as long as you're able to apply first principle thinking in building things, you don't have to be an expert in the industry that they're in because there are too many industry in the world for you to be an expert in.
Mhm,
So
yeah.
I would focus more on critical thinking and being able to figure things out on the fly rather than becoming an expert in everything.
Perfect. And if your 70 years old self could see you today, what would surprise her the most?
I think she'll be surprised at probably how many things I'm doing. I I feel like she would not have expected um that like 10 years later she's grown so much and that she has met the love of her life and is in a stage where she has such supportive friends and community and people who potentially look up to her and people who really respect her. So I think she will she will be very happy to see how long of a way that she has gone.
That's a beautiful answer. And the next question is for Iris in 10 years. What do you see yourself to your legacy, to your personal brand? Do you have some projects in mind that you want to build for your community? Tell us what we can expect from you.
Great question. No, I think people always underestimate how much impact they can have in 10 years, but overestimate what they can do in 1 year. So I would say for me in 10 years, I would expect that I have, well, first of all, a loving family. I want to have two beautiful kids and a good family foundation for with my partner. And then I also want to have built up a community. Like I want to keep building content, either it be recording podcasts or posting on LinkedIn or just sharing insight I've learned across all social media. So I want to continue to be an active producer for social media content. So um, in 10 years, I will hopefully be big in one of those platforms and then be able to leverage that platform to really spread positive energy, positive insight and perspective out to the world. And then another thing I would say, by then, hopefully I'm leading the product organization of a company. So as the head of product or CPO of either a startup or a bigger company where I'm able to maximize the impact of leading the product strategy, building all the roadmap and understanding where the company can go next. Or I could have start maybe my own company working on
For
uh
sure.
yeah. So we
There are a lot of opportunities, right?
yeah, for sure. So we will see how that road of product leads me. But for now, I love building products. So I'll continue being a PM in the AI space and seeing where that takes me and continue to build communities.
Yes, thank you so much for sharing your story and your perspective. And to finish our episode, if people remember just one thing from this conversation, what would you want to be?
So I would say definitely build your personal brand starting today. Start posting about anything you've learned. Like even just from listening to this podcast, you can make a LinkedIn post about, I listened to this podcast and here are three things I learned. So I would say for LinkedIn posts, you want to be focused on sharing values. And when you share good content with value, when you're sharing things you've learned, either from like a piece of content or from going to an event, people you've met, people will start tuning in. They will start following your journey, and that's how you start growing your audience. So I would say posting on LinkedIn is probably like the one thing that everyone should be doing to maximize your career opportunity and also start going to events. And because you never know, like I think networking is one of those things which is like it's serendipity that can bring you to places that you never imagined. And because it's serendipity, you can't plan for it. So the more times that you put yourself out there, the more you're increasing your surface area of luck. And so that's why I think I've been very lucky because I've consistently put myself out there into attracting opportunities to come to me. And so if you do the same, I have no doubt that all of you will be successful in whatever dreams you're pursuing, either your career, personal life, anything.
That's great. Thank you so much, Iris. This episode was really great, and we think about create opportunities instead of waiting for them. So thank you so much for participating with us.
Yeah.
If someone wants to send you a message or see more about your program, how they get in touch with you?
Yeah, for sure. I'm very active on LinkedIn, Instagram, and we are also hosting regular events with Iris Lens with our live podcast events. So definitely follow us on Spotify, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, and Substack, where we post our episodes online for the recording afterwards to listen for the insight, but also come out to our next event. Like we have events posted on Luma, and you can follow our socials on LinkedIn and Instagram. And feel free to DM me on any of these platforms.
Thank you so much, Iris. So this was another episode of Pode Virar Referência. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much.